Why did I go to the war? I was born in this little town in South Texas where hardly anybody spoke English. They all spoke Spanish. But I had an uncle who was a World War II veteran, and he was my surrogate father. He had landed with the 2nd Infantry Division, 23rd Infantry Regiment. I know all the details. On D+1 at a place called Saint-Laurent-sur-Mer, St. Lawrence over the ocean, this little tiny village in Normandy. I knew his war stories backwards and forwards. He said, we jumped off the landing craft when they let the ramp down, and I fell into the water. That's what he told me. That's what he told everybody. But because I was 6'2", I was able to stay above the water, and I had to pull up these other guys who were shorter, otherwise they would have drowned. This was D+1, 1944, June 7th, 1944. And the Germans were still shooting at us, that's what he said. Okay? This was on Omaha Beach. I knew all the details. Okay? I knew when he got wounded, September the 15th, 1944, he got the mortar shrapnel. And then a few days later, when he was leading his platoon, I Company, 3rd Battalion, 23rd Infantry. By the way, the 23rd Infantry is in Iraq right now, you know. At the siege of Brest, and he always liked to say that because he said it was a big chiche, which is Spanish for tip, right? Breast. And he always liked to play with people when he would say breast, you know. So, oh, really? That the French call their towns by those names, you know? Breast, you know, I mean, I guess those French are all they think about is sex, you know? He said, yeah, that's what it was called. It was called Brest, okay? And it was on the tip of the Brittany Peninsula, on the chiche of that peninsula, you know, the tip of that peninsula, you know? And he said, I was running in front of my platoon, and I'm telling you this story because it's so powerful in my consciousness. That uncle of mine made me go into my own war. And he said, I was out in front of my platoon. And I would say to him, well, what were you doing in front of your platoon? And he would say, well, I was the platoon sergeant. And I would say, well, what the hell does that mean? And he would say, I was the platoon sergeant, I had to lead by example. That's the kind of guy he was. See? So he was running out there, and then he would throw in a couple of more details. I was with the 3rd Army, and General Patton was the commander of 3rd Army. And the Germans were shut up in this city of Brest, and here we were besieging them. And I was running in front of my platoon, and there were some Germans over there behind this railroad track. There was, I guess, some kind of embankment or something. And he said, one of them shot me. And I would say, really? Where did he shoot you? And he would say, he shot me right through the hips. And he would go like this. And that's exactly what happened to him. You know, he was shot right through the hips, right? You know, from the side. And the bullet shattered his whole pelvis. So he was lying on the ground, and he said he looked down. He said the blood was pumping out of this wound like water out of a faucet. You know, the bullet had hit an artery. And he said, well, some medic ran out and put a bandage on it. And I said, how come they didn't kill the medic? And he would say, he would look at me like I was just completely stupid, you know. Now, most of the time, you know, he was drunk because he did try to kill himself with alcohol, you know. But he had inherited such a strong body from his ancestors that even the alcohol couldn't kill him. But he was always drunk, you know, and he would say, the reason the Germans didn't kill the medic is because they were smart. And I'd say, really? How can the Germans be smart? And he said, because one wounded man hurts more than 10 dead guys. Because you got to take care of them. Okay? So he said, the Germans, he said, I could hear them talking. But they let this medic run up and put the bandage on me and let this guy drag me back. So, you know, he would tell this, my uncle would tell this story over and over and over again, okay? And every time he would tell it, I would listen. I never got tired of listening to it. So one day I came and I said to him, I've enlisted in the Army. And I thought he would be so happy and then he would, you know, say, oh, congratulations, you're going to do what I did and all this. But what I found out is that he wasn't very happy at all. And he just blew up and he just started to cry. He started to weep. And he said, you were the stupidest son of a bitch that ever lived. Huh? You know? And then I went to Vietnam and I went through all of my combat experiences and then I came back. And I tried to tell him my combat experiences and he would not listen. I never measured up to him. I was never good enough. My combat experiences were nothing compared to his because I hadn't been shot. I was lucky. But anyway, I guess the reason I'm telling you all of this is because I kind of want to break that cycle. Because it's always old men telling young men about war, and the young men going to emulate the old men. Well, what I'm here to do is I want to break that cycle, right? You know? Right. But no, seriously, Rick is absolutely right when it says that this is intergenerational. All right? This is about older guys being here for the younger guys. All right? And here's another secret. You young guys who are veterans coming back from your war, the war that's still going on, see, you're going to be old guys really quick. Because there's another one down the road. And it's coming. I don't know when, but probably sooner rather than later. So you have your job then, okay? All right, so that's my little story for tonight.